Y'all know what? I'm actually starting to miss when the Super Bowl halftime show was boring. Like it wasn't exciting. It was not a big deal. Like you didn't even know who was gonna come out there. You know what it was. It was an afterthought. You know, one of the best ones I remember though is the Michael Jackson one. That was cool. But like there was no, there wasn't this culture war stuff then. It's everything is a culture war now. Everything is right versus left. You know, race versus race versus race versus race. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. You know, I get tired of it, man. Ain't none of us asked to be here. Ain't none of us asked to be here. I mean, the ones that was born here didn't ask to be here. Who was born into this world, and all that we trying to do is live the best life that we can. You know, there's awful people in every race, young, middle aged, old. You know, there's awful people everywhere. No one has the majority in being an awful person. And of course, somebody probably come out there and say, "Well, actually, it ain't supposed to be this hard for us to live together. Somebody is making it hard. Somebody is making it hard for us to get along because they don't want us to get along. They don't want us to come together. They don't want us to be unified. And you need to understand that. You need to understand that. It was never against, it was never like, it's not supposed to be like this. It's not black and white and the other colors or the other religions. It's the haves versus the have-nots. The people that have want to have it all, and they want us have-nots to never have, and that's the truth. We got more in common than we have differences. Like I think everybody wants their family to be safe, healthy, you know, have a long life. I think. Well, there's some people that break the mold, like that guy in Texas who shot his daughter. We gotta come together. I don't know how we're gonna do it. That's the only way we're gonna win. Because we keep fighting against each other all the time over every little thing. We're never gonna make any kind of progress. And the haves will just continue to have, and the have-nots will continue to have not. That's that's all I gotta say. I'll discuss some other stuff tomorrow, but that was just on my mind because, like I said, it's exhausting, man. I don't want to look at my neighbor some kind of way because of the way he votes, but it's getting bad out there, man. Like I don't want to look at somebody like they're a monster. I don't want nobody to look at me like I'm a monster because of how I voted. Because I want health care for people. Because I think women should have the right to choose. Like it's none of my business what a woman does with her body, unless that's my woman. Unless that's my seed inside her. Like you're just so concerned about unborn child, but then when the baby gets born, all that concern goes away like a fart in the wind. And that's not right. It's not right. That's my thoughts on the whole abortion thing. Trans rights. I don't think the government should pay for a sex change operation. No, I mean, if you want to do it, you get the funds up. Maybe you find an insurance company that'll do it. That's how I feel about that. And I'm not going to call you Pauline unless you done got it all done. You got to get it all done. You got to get the whole surgery done. I'm not going to agree with you having a Mercedes if you just show up with a pair of keys. No, you gotta pull up in a Mercedes. Then I said, oh man, you got a Mercedes. You gotta pull up with all the surgery done. You gotta have the surgery done. Can't just put a wig on and say, hey man, that's side of me. No, you Paul. Until you become Pauline. That's my thoughts on that. Gay folks, you know what the Bible say about you? Okay. You don't bother me. I've had gay friends before. Having gay friends don't make you gay. Like, they're human beings just like everybody else. That's how that is. What else? Healthcare. Everybody deserves healthcare. Everybody should have healthcare. We're the richest country in the world by several $billions. We should take care of the people here, especially the veterans, especially the people who fought for this country, bled and lost limbs for this country. Should take care of them. There should not be any homeless vets. Let's see. What else? What else? We should have a living wage. Now, granted, I do believe some people don't deserve it. If you're gonna, pardon my French, half-ass your job and stuff, and it's on a regular basis, no, I don't think you deserve. Because if you want a living wage, you need to work for it, man. Because how you gonna give somebody this much money and they're working hard, and you're gonna give the other dude the same amount of money and he's just garbage? Nah. So, I believe in the living wage, but I believe there should be some stipulations. In regards to the president, I don't think the president should be picking at people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's right. I don't believe that sets a good example. Trump was talking about how the women dancing during the halftime show was a bad example for young people. I think he's a bad example for young people. Like, we can't do that. We can't just not follow a court order. We can't just break the law and just get away with it. We have to follow the rules. He doesn't. That's a bad example. Like, what are we really talking about here? The thing that always bothered me about Republicans and MAGA is y'all don't hold him to the same standard y'all hold people on the other side. You don't. You judge him on the curve. You make a lot of excuses for him. A lot of excuses. Now, some of y'all coming around. I'm surprised Nick Fuentes, white supremacist and lover of Hitler and not so much women, he getting tired of MAGA and how they act. How they reacted during the halftime, the whole halftime thing. got on his nerves. Nick Fuentes. You know, the whole Charlie Kirk thing about him being your Martin Luther King. If you think Charlie Kirk is your Martin Luther King, then you did not understand who Martin Luther King was and what he stood for. And plus, Charlie Kirk said that he was like fraud or something. He said Martin Luther King was fraud. What is that? Was that messed up when he got killed? Absolutely. Absolutely. But the man didn't do himself no favors saying that for us to have the Second Amendment, some people will have to die. I don't think he ever imagined that it would be him. As long as it's other people, that's fine. But when it comes to knocking on your door, that's a whole different ball game there. And it was messed up. It was live on television, live on the internet. Everybody could see it. And people made fun of it. That's the era we live in. We have lost empathy. We don't know how to be cordial. We're just rude. We're assholes. And it's sad, man. Like, it was messed, but it was also messed up when people was picking at George Floyd and all the black people that got killed. Having the costume of being Trayvon Martin and stuff like that. But that was fine. Then you get huffed up about Charlie Kirk. Like, come on, man. That's the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. I don't think Democrats do everything right, and I don't think Obama was the second coming of the Lord. I still don't like what he did in Flint, Michigan at first. When he came into work, can I get a glass of water? Well, they didn't give you no real glass of no Flint water. I'm glad he finally did do something about it, but that had me pissed off. It did. It really did. Harris should have, when she was running for president, she should have had her own platform. She shouldn't have followed what Biden did. She should have been her own woman. That's what women do. That's what women of color do. They do their own thing. That's how she should have went. I don't know why y'all don't want to have people to have health care. That would help you win some stuff. That whole overturning Roe versus Wade. It was like y'all looked at that like a gift. Oh, we could just run on that. We don't have to run on nothing else. No. You couldn't run. You needed to run on something else. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to overturn Roe versus Wade. The overturning of Roe versus Wade and Trump bad. That's not enough. It was never enough. And Republicans, y'all saying, well, everything's fine. Did you not learn nothing from the last election that we lost? Because Hillary lost when she was saying America's great because America's good. America's not good. America's not good. America is not okay. That was a mistake running like that. It surprised me y'all ran a woman again. Like, the white woman didn't win. What made y'all think the black, Asian, whatever she was, according to Republicans, because Lord have mercy, y'all get really touchy about if someone's black enough, which is hilarious. Oh, she ain't black enough. What? Trump was saying, well, she started, she was Asian or Indian, and then she became black. I mean, she was all that stuff. Like, dog, It's hilarious. It's sad at the same time. Jesus Christ. We're so cooked sometimes, boy. Keep a brother in prayer. But this is running a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I had to get some stuff off my chest, man. There's just some stuff been on my mind. I haven't done a video in a couple of days. It was my grandma's birthday. And, she passed like 2 years ago. And then I found out a friend of mine passed away too. Well, he got shot, killed, and that just kind of, I don't know, just had me thinking about back in the day and stuff like that. And I just don't like it. I don't like how things are. I want them to change. I want to help it change. I don't want to just be complaining about stuff all the time. And if you think not voting is going to help stuff, you haven't learned anything. That's saying both sides are bad and blah blah blah. Or try to fix it. Try to help. Be part of the solution, not part of the endless complaining. Because everybody complains. Everybody points the finger. Nobody wants to pick up the cross and walk. And we all got our burdens to bear. And you're going to carry that weight.